All right, so we just finished our hike. And so one of the things, that we talked about in this trip that we wanted to do. So I let you borrow a bunch of gear to try to set you up for better success for this. But I also gave you the pack a couple days ago and said, take it home, look, play with everything, do with it as you will, and then pack whatever else that you need to get the rest of your gear, because there was a lot of gear that I didn't provide you. And so we just wanted to be able to see, what all you were going to feel like you needed or even kind of bring out. And so I would love to just take this opportunity here to go through your sack and go through your pack before we go to set up camp and just see what all you brought and see how you did. And we can talk about some of the stuff as we go along. So before we dig anything out, let's just start with the obvious. And so we'll talk about the pack itself. Mm-hmm. So I gave you the newer Outdoor Vitals Evo 50 liter pack that they had for that. And then I was able to switch out the belt and get you to the size kind of that you needed for that. Mm-hmm. So before we dig into the rest of the pack, let's just talk for just a second on what your thoughts are on this backpack. I know it's a lot different. You've got an Osprey pack of your own. So tell me a little bit about what you think is different. How do you feel like it was coming in and some of that stuff?
I think it feels lightweight, like it's got that material the same as the sacks I had that I'll show you inside, where you can just like take all the air out and roll it up and tie it up, and it just is very light feeling. So it feels lighter than the Osprey. So I liked it for that reason, and it was very comfortable wearing. So what didn't bother me at all. I didn't feel anything on my shoulders. It was fitting right on my hips, and so it was a great pack.
So even with it being a bit of an ultralight pack, mm-hmm. Do you still feel like you had enough hip support in your belt and some of those?
Yes, I do feel like I had really good support.
Okay, mm-hmm. Good. And then did it give you enough room, you think, and when you were packing? Did you have any issues with like running out of space or any of that stuff?
No, I was really concerned about getting overweight. I didn't want to carry a heavy load, so I kept thinking to myself, like, should I take this? Should I take that? And I did take a couple things out of it just to avoid overpacking. Okay. So I tried to stay bare minimum.
And it helped a little bit too. This particular pack doesn't have a lot of pockets on the outside, whereas you can see, like I've got one of the Shadow Light versions of Outdoor Vitals pack, and it's got a lot more pockets, which are a lot easier to fill, as you can see I've done on mine.
Right.
So I intentionally kind of did that too for you, because it would give you less places to put things, to see if that would make it a little bit more of a challenge for you.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's start digging in. Let's say the outside pack first. You've only got the one pocket really on the outside, other than your water pockets and your snack pockets. So just start pulling things out and let's see what you got.
Yeah, so first I did take these shoes. They're like camp shoes. They're called Kick Fits Fit Kicks. And so I just put them right in the front pocket. And then I did bring my tripod because I am also filming some stuff. This is for the camp chair. So I'm sitting on that. This was in my pack as well. So I just put that in there, and I think, these are my microphones. I needed those. Then we have a little headlamp that I discovered. I was going to bring my own light, and you told me, no, you already have one. So I was like, I didn't even see it there. And then I have the spoon that you gave me. And then I brought this. This is in case it's a head net.
Okay.
So in case there were mosquitoes. It's not like Michigan. Michigan, we had to wear these when we were on a hike.
I've been on some places on the Colorado Trail, though, where we do get some spots, especially if you're closer to water and stuff, where you can get to where they can be a challenge here as well. And that's a super lightweight accessory, to be able to carry. I've got one of those at home. Sometimes I will carry it out. But I can definitely, knowing the story of your first trip out, I totally get why that's made your pack list.
Essential. And then I have this Milwaukee knife, and I brought it just as a knife source. I have another one that was like longer, and I thought, no, I'll just take this one. I can even clip it on my pants or whatever, but just in case you needed it. And then this is just it's a instant coffee packet.
Okay.
So I just ended up throwing it in here.
Let me see your knife.
Okay.
So one of the things I'll laugh about, and I don't know how easy it's going to be for me to get to mine, but that's definitely a hunk of a knife.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny. Oh, right. It's even got a thing. Oh, okay. That's nice. I like that. It's so funny too when you start talking ultralight world, right? Like when I first started camping too, I carried a lot larger of a knife, and now you'll laugh. I probably can't get to it easily. I'll pull it out here in a minute.
The tiny little thing.
Oh, it's super tiny, because I found that really and truthfully, like as I would go through and I would get back home and I would do what I like to call the shakedowns at the end, right? Is I take everything out, and then on one side you put on everything that you used, on the other side you put everything that you didn't, and then you look at the stuff that you didn't, and some of that, rightfully so, if it's safety gear, other things, like great that you didn't, but you still need to carry it, right? But then some things, it's just started to get into the point where more and more often I realized that I didn't use the knife. And so then I went, I don't want to completely be without one. So how can I go so minimal that I just have a small itty bitty lightweight one that if I need one, I need it, but that I'm not using it that often. So very cool though.
Yeah. And then in here,
so let's talk before you go in the bag. Let's talk real quick about your water bottles. So you've got a couple water bottles.
Yeah, you gave me this and I fell in love with it. So I want to get one of these because I could use it on my bike because I do bike trips, and it holds. I like the mouth on it. It's weird because a lot of times the bottles like that you have to like squeeze it or whatever. I hate that.
Yep.
So I like the mouth on this, and I can just chug water.
Okay.
And I think you told me too that the entire thing comes off.
Right.
So you have that wide mouth if you need it.
Yeah, that's one of the bottles that Miranda helped design, and they intentionally designed it to where, so like even for example, like not too long ago, you put some electrolytes in your water. It's so much easier to put it in the wide mouth, you know, when you're doing that. And then these are washable and reusable, and you know, and a lot more so than say the smart water bottles. Even though, you know, I gave you one of my older dirty smart water bottles, but thankfully you chose to buy your own smart water bottle.
Yeah.
But which is what we do a lot. You know, I mean, a lot of times the backpackers will use a water bottle until we feel like it's been beyond our usage, and then we throw it away, and then we have to buy another. And so it's not really, you know, as much single use as it is on other things, but it's the lightest version. A lot of people go buy them. So
yeah, I can see why it definitely works. And then anything else I did add this clip. I like to have these like carabiner clips, and I don't have anything on it, but I had it in the house in my place, and I just decided to hook it on here in case I wanted to hook anything to it.
I was gonna say, let me ask you though. So like, give me some examples of what you would use it for.
Well, like I used to have this little lantern thing that could hang off of it, or I could put like if I wanted a key, if I wanted, what else could I put on there? Anything like that's probably not super heavy. That's something lightweight that you want easy access to. And that's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah. And then over here, I have snacks along the side. I have some snacks in here.
Okay.
So that's all that's in there. All right. And then inside, I had these from my past. Like I've held on to these, and they're really nice because they cinch down, and you take all the air out, and then it's a really small, you know, it can just get really small, so it doesn't take up a lot of space. And these are just extra. It's like an extra pair of underwear, and then it's my merino wool base layer. If I get cold, like I can wear these at night if I'm cold, and I can wear them to bed. And then
tops and bottoms.
I have a top and bottom.
Okay.
And so they're super small.
Underwear, tops and bottom.
Yep.
And that's it.
That's all I brought. And then I have the other bag. Now these are my toiletries.
Okay.
So I have like toothbrush and toothpaste, and I have my little coffee packet. So I brought instant coffee. I brought Coffee Mate so that I can put my cream in. And I think that I'm trying to think of what else I brought. I did bring some wipes.
Okay.
Flushable wipes. Now, I know a lot of true backpackers will be like, oh, you don't need that. I don't know if it's a thing.
I mean, to be honest, there's a lot of backpackers that like those. I mean, when you start to get into the ultralight world, people will, because, right, in theory, when you buy a big packet like that, you may only use 4 or 5 of those throughout the whole weekend. And so you end up taking home more than you even used. And so an ultralighter would go, you know, you carried in a whole lot of weight that you carried back out. So what they would do, a lot of people do, and I did a video once on some of this, and they'll even take those, they'll dry them out, and then they'll rehydrate them with some water at camp, but only take the amount that they know that they'll use. So like if you're gonna use 2 a day, and you're doing a 2-day backpacking trip, they only would take 4. But no, I know I used to carry an actual big pack like that too as well, because it was just comforting to know you could wipe yourself down at the end of the day.
Yeah, like my hands got all blackened when I got here from the poles, and so I was able to wipe that. And then what I did, is I did bring toilet paper, and then I can pack it back out in this baggie. And so I can use all this for all my garbage and stuff like that. What else? Like I brought chapstick because that is definitely an essential. And I brought my little charging cord for my watch. And that is it. Like I said, I had the coffee, I had the electrolytes, and then I had the cream for the coffee with coffee sticks.
Okay.
And that's it.
Nice.
So these two. And then I did bring, this is my titanium coffee cup.
Okay.
And then I have it wrapped in some of the bubble, what's it called again?
The heat.
It's the, oh my God, Reflectix.
Yes.
It's called Reflectix, and I wrapped it. And this was been like this for a long time. I did this a long time ago because
So I noticed those. That's your pot?
Yeah.
When did you get the little mouthpiece on it? Like the orange thing. So take the pot out. Or
this?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So it's interesting. So I recently, not too long ago, there's a small cottage company that makes and sells those, and they sell them on Garage Grown Gear, which is really a big time ultralight kind of backpacking. They're a big fan of like cottage brands, garage brands, people that are making stuff out of their home, and then so they sell them. So they're kind of like an Amazon and so sake for backpacking. But I didn't realize that those things have been going. You've had that for a while.
2014 is when I got a lot of my stuff, and that's been.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they've been selling those that long. But I actually have those on the other 2 pots that one I gave you, and then one I brought myself too, because I recently got them. Because what they do is they help. So on the titanium pot, so that's a Toke's pot that you've got there, and it looked to be about maybe a 550 liter, but the titanium gets hot really fast. So when you're boiling your water, and if you're trying to drink tea or coffee or something out of them, it's really hot to touch with your mouth.
Burn your
lips.
lips.
So they made those as these little things to just clip onto the Toke's pots as perfect little things to help you not burn your lip.
Yeah.
So it's cool that you have that on there, and it's been very smart on having the Reflectix on it. That's an amazing way to help keep heat, especially in titanium. Titanium loses its heat really fast. And so even though it's really lightweight, it doesn't really hold heat for a lot. So if you're going to use a pot like that as a cup for coffee or tea or things like that, then it's really smart to have that on.
Yeah. And then my other little cool device is my pee-pee jar.
Okay.
So I purchased this a while back because I wanted something that when I needed to use the bathroom in an emergency, I had it. So it's got like a little female, like plastic urinal thing, and you can aim it kind of like you're a boy, and you can go right into the jar. So my biggest fear is that I didn't want to get up in the middle of the night and come outside in the pitch dark and go to the bathroom in the cold, and I could just, the one time I go in the middle of the night, I can go in my jar.
That's so awesome.
So
I mean, there's a lot of guys. I mean, we're prone sometimes to carrying an extra, smart water bottle or something, and having that, and trying to remember which one is.
Just remember,
right,
the pee-pee one. Yeah, don't want to.
But and having that because they don't want to get out of the tent at night too. So that's very cool. I've never seen one of the female versions of that.
Yeah.
So very glad you brought that.
And the ant is in the bag too now. Ants like me today.
Hey, as long as you're not carrying them home,
yeah,
that's fine.
I found this. This was something I got a long time ago too, and it is a really nice wool hat. So if I get cold, so I brought that. I brought this as a charger, so for phones or anything I need to charge. And I brought this. This is my rain jacket. So this is what I had in case of either rain or just cold, just another layer.
Right. Now, one thing I would note too, as we're kind of going through this too, if we would have been hiking, how far down did you go to get that rain jacket? So one tip is always right is keep that sucker at the top of your pack.
Yes. Yes.
Or even in the outside pocket sometimes.
Yeah, you could put it in the out. Yeah, absolutely.
Because especially with these thunderstorms that pop up all the time, you'd have been struggling to get to that sucker. And I say that too, and I think mine was below my food bag too as well. So I was probably at fault to doing that too.
So, and then this I happen to have from years and years ago too. This is my puffy jacket. So it's down feather. It's a very nice, I think it's Mountain Hardwear.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
I've had this for a long time. And so this is for warmth. And then this is my tent that you gave me. So
Okay.
I cannot wait to pull this out and put it together. I'm super excited. It's an X Dome 1 Plus.
Yep, that's the new Durston X Dome one plus person tent.
Then this is something. What is this?
This is
Oh,
the
this
air
is my
pad.
sleeping.
Yeah.
Yep, it's the sleeping
The
thing.
Nemo Tensor all season.
Earbuds in case I decided to listen to something.
Okay.
I just thought, why not? It's small. I can bring it. And then this is the pot you gave me to use for, and then I played around with it at home too. Like you just pop this up and then open that, and you even have a lighter in there, and it's just my little stove.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the fire maple. So that's the fire maple cup and stove. It's a new one that I've recently gotten from Fire Maple.
Okay.
They're what's called a so it's a canister stove, but it also is a remote stove. So meaning the stove doesn't sit on top of the canister, and so it allows you to be able to put it on the ground, get it a little sturdier. And then that pot actually, you'll see as you start to use it here, interlinks with that.
Okay.
And I just think it's so cool. And the reason why I gave it to you is because I've been testing it a lot here lately because I think it's an amazing stove for beginners. Not just because it's a reasonable price, because it comes from overseas. So, it's a little cheaper than some of the stuff that we have over here, but it's also compact enough that you can kind of get everything together. You can put it all in there together, but it works really well. And I like to, like you'll see, versus the toques, like a couple of things that I like about these over the toques is that the handle has got plastic on it, so, as the handle comes down, it's a little bit easier to kind of hold and do on that, for that. And then it's kind of got that thing built in the bottom to help, make the fuel more efficient on it and other things too. So it'll be interesting to see how you like it.
Yeah, I can't wait to actually use it and see how it all works. That's really nice. And then the last thing is this beautiful down feather puffy blanket. That is,
yeah. So that's my new one so you get to be the first person to really try that one. So I just recently got that from Zenbivy. And so there should also be somewhere in there, a sheet system. And so Zenbivy's really been known for creating these full bed systems. And so that's a pillow.
That's a pillow.
So you take your air pad, then you put a sheet system over it. And that's it right there. And then that your quilt that you have there will interlink. There's connectors onto that sheet. And so it'll connect to that. And so it makes it a lot more beginner friendly with a quilt. So one of the challenges most beginners have with a quilt, because the quilt, as you know, doesn't have a back on it like a sleeping bag, right?
Yeah.
So anybody who's new to backpacking and maybe new to quilts may not realize too, and you can have drafts. And so if you don't have it just put on your pad just right, you could get cold air coming in. And so you get drafty spots, which means cold spots, which means you wake up in the middle of the night. Whereas with this, you put that sheet system over your air pad, and then you take and connect that quilt to that sheet system. And then you'll even be able to connect your pillow to it so that your pillow doesn't slip off your air pad. So it almost really becomes like a full bed system. And Zenbivy's really known for a lot of that. And so I had recently reached out and we kind of talked to them, and we just got one of those for it. And so I thought it would be a good one for you to test out for this weekend.
Yay. I'm so excited. Yeah. It's going to be my favorite part.
All right. But ultimately, so we've made it through most of all your gear. I think you did really well. So tell me, as you were packing, what was going through your mind? I mean, tell me what did you almost bring that you decided against bringing? You said you did look over the packing list that I did. How did that change how you thought about packing versus the way you did?
That list reminded me to bring a hat because I wasn't even thinking of hats. And so I did wear this hat for, to protect me against the sun. And then you had mentioned sunscreen too, I think, in there. And I forgot. I'm like, yeah, that stuff's important because when you're out on the trail and you're out and the sun's beating on you and everything, even the chapstick stuff, like that was really important. And I started to put in some things like I wondered, should I bring a book for reading or should I bring an extra light? Like I could have bring a solar light and all that. And then I started thinking, no, you're overdoing it. Just scale back and see what he's packed you. Just bring the essentials that you need, your toiletries and all that, and see how it goes. Mm-hmm. And then you'll know next time if you do want to bring that book or, if I want to download something on Audible to listen to or something like that. But at this point, I just thought, no, I just want to go with the flow.
All right. So, I mean, no, I think you did really well. We weighed your pack at the trailhead and you were around, 22 pounds I think, for your pack. I think that was really good. I mean, I know I did give you, because you were not necessarily close to a lot of your other gear that you had. So I gave you some decent quality gear, some lightweight gear. Like the tent's really lightweight. Maybe not all beginners start out with something that lightweight. And then same way with the quilt, a lot of beginners might start out with a sleeping bag that might weigh a bit more than that. Mm-hmm. And so that would affect some things. But ultimately, I don't think you really overpacked a whole lot of stuff. Just like myself, you carry a decent amount of camera gear, which we have to do, right, to be able to do this kind of stuff. So that adds some weight. The only duplicative thing, I think you did really well in your clothing. A lot of people will carry a lot of extra clothes, oh, I want to change into different clothes at camp. I want to change into different clothes tomorrow. And by the time you add 2-3 pairs of pants, 2-3 shirts, double jackets, some of that starts to really add up. But I think you did well on that. The only duplicative thing I think that I can see right off the bat would be, like the cup system. So you got 2 pots there, really. Yeah. Which is fine. Like, right, one of them we'll use to boil some water for food tonight, and the other you can use for, coffee and some of that. But in theory, you could have eliminated one of those and just used one. Because even the thing that you boil the water in, you can still use to drink your coffee in. True. As well. Yeah. The biggest difference would be, I think, your other cup, does have that heat source, to kind of help with keeping things warm. So that might be beneficial for you. Mm-hmm. And in actuality, too, you did better. So because we were only doing one night, I packed something I normally never pack. And that's my actual coffee mug from home, which is really heavy compared to my own pot, because I have my own stove as well, and so I totally normally would drink my coffee out of my pot too as well. But this time I chose to toss that in just because I knew we might be sitting around camp tomorrow. Yeah. But no, I mean, great job. I think trying to keep your pack lightweight helps, as you go. Especially if you're getting out for a night or two on that. The only thing you weren't carrying was food. I was carrying all the food, and that was just because I wanted to be able to prepare a lot of that so that you didn't have to worry about some of that for this trip. But last question I kind of think here is there anything that you're worried about that you didn't bring?
I don't think so, because I live full-time in an RV, so I kind of live minimal. So that lifestyle has already shown me what essentials are needed. And I know as long as I can brush my teeth and as long as I can go to the bathroom and have a coffee in the morning, I'll be fine. Now, it's always nice to have a fresh pair of clothes to change into. I did feel like, it would have been nice to have that, but I didn't want to. I mean, I've watched a lot of backpacking videos like back in the day I did, and I just didn't want to bring all that extra weight. I'm like, nope, I can survive. I'm good.
And that's one of the things that we've a lot of us, if you've been doing this for a while, you learn to just live with, right? You know that no matter what, when you come off trail, you're gonna stink.
Yep.
Especially depending on how many days you go out. Like tomorrow, we won't be that bad. Like we won't run people away from us because we're just doing
No.
an overnighter. But you do 3-4 nights. And then especially like even when I was through hiking, you start learning, when you can clean, wash your stuff at camp and hang it up to dry to try to recycle some of that stuff without having to carry a whole bunch of extra stuff. But no, great job on
you.
this. Super excited to get it all up and get going, and especially we got a little bit of weather rolling in on us. So how about we go get camp set up?
Let's do it.